This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter weekend. Although fairly calm, there was quite a bit of activity happening online with the Sussex Squad. Leading the charge was the Guppy trying to double down on his original comments around Catherine's video being fake. So, a bit of going back and forth between the Guppy and Richard Eden, we're now starting to see a full out Twitter war. The whole thing is getting a bit nuts, in which they have roped in now James Middleton, Catherine's brother, into this beef. This situation is still developing, and I'm just sitting back and watching to see what the journalists now will come back with to counter some of the things that Boozy has been saying. Obviously, he is convicted in justifying why he thinks that this video is fake, and he doubles down. No, actually, he triples down in 3 threads on his generic X platform called Spoutable. I do believe that a lot of this attention that he's bringing to himself is to draw people over to this platform. I don't recommend you go over and click on there. There have been numerous security breaches. I mean, why else would he be spending so much time in dissecting and going through this and going point by point against the papers? I mean, 1, to redeem his reputation, whatever's left of it, and 2, to drive traffic and most likely collect more personal data. This situation is far from over, and we're just going to have to sit back and watch how all of this unfolds. I highly doubt these journalists are going to allow this guppy to continue to keep gaslighting and race baiting. I think that they're going to come back with something that we're all just going to have a good chuckle over. But moving on, what I would like for us to do is go back down memory lane. Since many of you were not in it from the beginning or were following this saga until maybe over the last year or so, after these two have epically failed on a global stage. My opinion is that Meghan always had the intention of making false allegations of racism against the family. I would even argue that she planned on doing it before she even married into the family. We saw it from the beginning when 8 days after it was announced that Harry and Meghan were dating, Harry goes ahead and issues a notice to back off his girlfriend and use the race card. 8 days. So I do believe that there was a strategic element to Meghan going in there and using or weaponizing race in order to get what she wanted. Make no mistake, Meghan did manipulate Harry from day one in weaponizing the media and playing to his paranoia. It is my belief, but it was always Meghan's plan to come back to the United States to make lots and lots of money with her newfound status. And her alignment shows that that was the intention between having Hillary Clinton come to Frogmore, aligning with the Obamas, participating in all the Democratic campaigns for voting, as well as aligning herself with the UN and other globalists in order to push things that are right now destroying America and the West. Sunshine Sachs played a pivotal role in getting Meghan and Harry aligned with these globalist initiatives, especially when they were starting up their Fugazi public charity, Archwell. Now, one could say that Sunshine Sachs was initially hired to help rebrand Meghan when stuff started leaking about how she made Catherine cry, as well as her poor treatment of her staff. But I do think that there was also a political element to this because Sunshine Sachs also is very big in the Democratic Party in promoting PR for these political candidates. They were, I'm not sure if they are so anymore, but very influential here in New York City, especially with their clients that they have repped, such as Hillary Clinton, Harvey Weinstein. They had Mayor de Blasio, Andrew Cuomo. I mean, not the best of the best, but their job was to rehabilitate and do crisis management. And to some degree, they have been very successful, but in others, they're seen as being ruthless. And in this case with Meghan Markle, there is suspicion that they are behind some of the ruthless tactics that we saw all the way up until they severed their relationship. Some of those ruthless tactics included how the media portrayed those poor victims in the Harvey Weinstein case. Also, they were caught red-handed updating Wikipedia pages with information that might not have been so accurate. Now, it's my opinion, but I do think that the inception of the Sussex Squad began with Sunshine Sachs. Initially, when Sunshine Sachs was brought in to rehabilitate Meghan's brand, all of a sudden we had this massive Twitter bot network that came out praising Meghan Markle left and right. Then we see from Crazy Days and Nights this blind item that came out. From September 15, 2019, right before the Harkles go off on their African rebranding PR tour, it says the illiterate former actress turned A-list celebrity hired a company that specializes in going after people on social media who criticize their clients using bot farms. This should be fun. So if I had to guess, it was Sunshine Sachs who contracted someone, whether it be Boozy and Bot Sentinel or another person by the name of Ian Sexton. Now, this is a person that showed up literally out of nowhere in October of 2019. And here he is retweeting, "We love you, Meghan," after she got done whining in Africa of no one asking if she was okay. See, what's interesting is prior to this woe is me African tour, Ian Sexton's Twitter activity appeared quite dormant, with sporadically promoting and marketing other brands through some type of retail link. So when you go back and look at the activity and behavior of this Twitter user, you start to understand that this was initially one of the first real coordinated campaigns to defend the Duchess. And here we see utilizing the hashtag, "We love you, Meghan," to get trending. And during that time, this was all about rehabilitating Meghan's brand. Now, fast forward after Megxit happened, and this couple came over to the United States to begin campaigning for the 2020 election, supporting the Biden regime. Meghan and Harry went on to take part in various activities to interfere with the U.S. elections by using their royal titles. All of a sudden, Ian Sexton comes back onto the radar, promoting Meghan's interview with 19th News. Now, where have we heard 19th News before? Oh, right. They're the ones that did the panel for South by Southwest with Meghan recently. And also, Archwell Public Charity had given money to this organization. I wonder if money was actually given to the 19th News in 2020 and they lied about it on their 2021 tax filing so they could get the tax benefit. Anyhow, this interview rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because Meghan was using her title and here advocating for the vote and voting in the way of not Donald Trump. So here we have Piers Morgan now chiming in a week later by speaking up and saying that Meghan and Harry should not be using their titles to talk about political things. In fact, Meghan was free to use her own name, but she chose not to. But here Ian Sexton comes to their defense by saying, there are plenty of British dukes who are politically active members of the Conservative Party. Are you aware of some legal reason to back up your insistence about what Meghan and Harry can and can't do? Or are you the ultimate arbiter? After seeing this post, you might question, well, what business is it of Ian Sexton to ask Piers Morgan this question, especially around British politics, considering that this guy is American? So when you look at Ian Sexton's activity from a month before, and you look at the types of tweets that he was putting out, you realize that in some shape, some form, he is helping and supporting the Democrats in this election, because clearly it's all about bashing Trump and getting treason trending now. It's coming to light all the dirty tactics that were going on during the lead up to this election, between the manipulation online, getting people canceled, as well as using these bot networks to amplify this hatred that they have for Donald Trump and trying to sabotage his campaign in getting certain things trending. This guy did a lot of Trump bashing before he was on someone's payroll to help Meghan Markle. Nowhere does this guy talk about being an anti-monarchist or wanting to do away with the monarchy until Meghan Markle came onto the scene and he was doing her bidding. So what I think happened here was that during the election campaign, Ian Sexton was supporting, like many other sugars who were supporting the Biden regime, in incessantly tweeting about Trump. But fast forward now into 2021, full focus now is on Meghan Markle, where Ian Sexton is like a main cheerleader, more than Scobie, I would say. This comes off the heels of that dumpster fire interview that Meghan and Harry did with Oprah. And here we have Ian Sexton champion Meghan Markle and, down with the black people and Black Lives Matter. Yes, I understand that he has a grandson who is black, but now all of a sudden race comes into it and it's the main focus. This is part of the social justice warriors that are trying to destroy this country at this moment. And you can almost make the assumption that this guy is supporting the globalists, as he has listed on his profile as global citizen. So we know that he's down with this agenda. So let's take a look at Ian Sexton's profile. So at the time when I captured this, it was in April of 2022. And that was the time that Harry and Meghan were going off to Invictus. And at the same time, it was William and Catherine, I believe, just coming off of their Jamaica tour. So at the time when I screenshotted this was during the time that Meghan and Harry were going off to The Hague, I believe, for Invictus, and William and Catherine just came back from the Caribbean and that failed Jamaica tour. So as you can see, I used the application SocioViz that was working at the time before the API was pulled and ran one day of analysis on Ian Sexton to see exactly what was going on. And here we find that during that time, it was one day on 4/11 to which you saw Invictus Games trending, Harry and Meghan, Prince Harry, Sussex Squad, Respect. I think this was all to wash away the previous campaign that they were running against William and Catherine. Unfortunately, I didn't discover this tool until after everything happened with William and Catherine and was not able to go back to get those snapshots to see who was in that coordinated campaign. So looking at this, though, this is better than nothing. We could see how the squad actually communicates and operates with one another. We also get to see who Ian Sexton is connected to, which turns out it's a lot of these bots. These bots are following him and he's following them. Now, this next part comes from a video that I did way back, and I was using at the time an AI generated voice until YouTube said, no, we don't like that you use AI generated voices because we think you're a bot, and had sent a notice, hence the reason why I use my real voice now.
So when Ian Sexton tweets out certain words, it triggers a handful of his followers, who are bots, to go ahead and retweet to create an echo chamber. Meghan Markle knows a lot about echo chambers as she has talked about it many times. She understands how her messages can dominate the platform. If she can get rid of the people who challenges her lies and propaganda, she can use this method to brainwash and control the public. The majority of these Twitter IDs are bots in this cluster and have been instructed to execute a command to just retweet Ian Sexton's tweets. These are just some examples of the users in this cluster that have been touched by Ian's tweets. In this bot network, Ian Sexton is always one of the first to follow these fake users. Their function is strictly to retweet certain hashtags that are being used on accounts that the fake user is following. They will not retweet any user they are not following. When we move over here, this cluster is made up of real people. And the Twitter account that is the center hub here has retweeted and is connected to these people. At a high level, I am showing the initial points of entry and how messages get out and spread. When I run the most recent Twitter users report, it is showing a high level of bots with activity. This is indication of words and hashtags being tweeted to trigger these bots to react and retweet. Sussex shooter. This bot has been created to cause divisiveness with anyone who disagrees or dislikes Meghan Markle. We have confirmed it is a bot. There is Ian Sexton following with other bots. Here is a sample of the nasty tweets being pushed out by Meghan's team to fuel the divisiveness. She is doing this to create a false narrative, to push these censorship initiatives and her propaganda to control the internet and free speech. What is evident is that the majority of active users are bots. Only a few main Twitter IDs are the ones who are connected to bots. One of those Twitter IDs is iSexton. Ian Sexton appears to be the one who is a main part of this bot network supporting Meghan Markle. Here is another hate account trying to undermine the institution. Followers are core members of the Sussex Squad who have been known frequently to attack anyone who supports the monarchy. Sarah Data is one of them. When I looked at who this Republic staff was following, this account, campaigning to abolish the monarchy, caught my attention. And who do we see here following this account to abolish the monarchy? Yes, that is Ian Sexton. This is my observation and opinion. The people supporting Meghan and Harry are actively trying to destroy the monarchy. These people who Meghan has hired and are working with support abolishing this institution.
Ian Sexton is definitely a part of this movement to tear down this institution. He's also very much part of the Democrat movement in destroying our country and causing racial divide. I'm not really sure what motivates these people to do this and cause so much division and divisiveness. Either it's out of getting paid or if it's more of misery. I'm not really sure. But this guy was definitely a part of the Democrats' program during the campaign for Biden, and now he is part of this tearing down the monarchy and institution. Now, with that being said, this is based off of information that I have coupled and gathered back in 2022. When you look at Ian Sexton's tweets now, it almost appears as if he's moved on to something else. It's like he's not really going about this campaign and supporting Meghan Markle and retweeting and being a part of this whole hate group. I do think that there was at one point the connection between the people backing Meghan from the Democrat side, and he was a part of it. It could be through Sunshine Sachs. Not really sure, but it's kind of interesting that his aggressive tweets have died off ever since Meghan shedded Sunshine Sachs. Ian Sexton's still there, but he's not an active participant in these campaigns anymore. Like the recent campaign against Catherine, he was not tweeting about it. So it makes you wonder. At the time when Sunshine Sachs had severed ways with Meghan, we saw a lot of squatties disappearing. Also, the Sussex Squad podcast also stopped. We also saw a lot of squatties then start deleting their accounts. And even more recently, we saw some major account holders start deleting their accounts and deleting tweets. And this is a tweet that I think needs to be saved, in which Ian posts, "Well, that got off to a fast start. Thank you to so many of you for connecting. I made the offer because Meghan had suggested sharing our network." So here we have Ian Sexton directly connected to Meghan. "I've ended up enriching mine with so many wonderful people. You guys rock. 40 by 40. And he was one of the main supporters of this stupid 40 by 40, as well as the stupid book, The Bench, trying to shill it everywhere you go. And finally, I'll leave you on this point. The sketchiest part that I found about this guy was that even though he knew Meghan and connected with her, he then decides to open up this fundraising activity for the Mina Mahila's Foundation, in which he was saying here on August 3rd, 2021, if any of you would love to support Meghan but are strapped for cash, let me know here or by DM and I'll make a donation in your name. Let's share the love. And so he carries out this campaign to fundraise for this foundation, which I'll get to in a second, in which he's getting names from the Sussex Squad, in which he donates apparently his money, allegedly, to this foundation, and then he sends the squatties the receipts of their name in which it says the donation amount. And funny enough that this donation amount is a specific amount of $25.87 each time. I'm pretty sure you can't do this when it comes to charity, as that's considered tax fraud in trying to take a fraudulent tax deduction, especially if these people are submitting those receipts that didn't actually give that money. You know what I mean? Ian Sexton proceeds to do this for so many squatties, in addition to the ones that were also giving their actual money. So they raised a certain amount of money, but what's even more messed up is that when you go to the IRS tax form for the foundation that they were raising money for, you realize that they didn't use the money to do anything with it. And subsequently, after the year of 2021, in year 2022, 2023. I mean, even their website, nothing has been updated. There's been no updates on any activity or even showing signs of them working on certain projects. So the question becomes, what happened to the over $500,000 that this foundation raised with Meghan, right? What did they do with it? Did they help any women? It doesn't look like it. It looks like they took the money and ran. I mean, look at the statement from the program service accomplishments on the IRS tax form. It says, briefly describe the organization's mission. Mina Mahila USA partners with organizations around the world to provide better health services and opportunities to women from low income communities. We are proud to partner with Mina Mahala Foundation to help employ women from urban slums in Mumbai, India, to manufacture and sell affordable sanitary pads back into their communities. And as you can see here, as you scroll down, only $5,282 was given to the program. What did they do with the rest of the money? You can't find any more information about this. I thought maybe I was missing something when I was looking at the IRS tax return, but there's no transfer or wire transfer to India of this money, nor does it say that they gave any grants or if they used the money for anything. It shows that their employees, the two that they have there, are not employed. And explain to me, the website has not been updated since 2021. And it does say here on this so called receipt that was given by Ian Sexton that this is USA based. So, where is this money? Was Ian sending out bots of fake people saying, oh, can you please donate on my behalf? While suckers who really thought that they were giving to a good cause and had money to give gave? I mean, this is like such a scam looking at us in the face. And notice that Meghan hasn't said a word about this organization since this happened. So I don't know, man. This is not the only scam that I found. There's another scam that was going on by another squatty that maybe I'll cover at a different time. But yeah, there was a squatty in there who claimed she had cancer or something, and squatties were fundraising, and somehow money was going to her, and it ended up getting taken. I don't know, but there was big drama around that. And even Ian Sexton was supporting this fake squatty who was scamming the rest of the squatties. We'll get into that another day. But what do you guys think went down here? Do you think that these people are total frauds? I do, 1000%. I also think that some of these squatties that have disappeared now are being repurposed as we have an election coming up. So you know what that means. I think we're going to see the same behavior going against Trump again. Be interesting to watch Ian Sexton now to see if he does tweet about Trump or anything that he was doing back when 2020 was going on. Now, there was one thing that I did find very interesting around Ian Sexton's network of friends. So on Medium, there is many instances that I found where Ian Sexton is following along with a guy by the name of Adam Parhomenko. Not really sure if there is a direct connection, but they seem to be hanging out in the same group of people. Now, Adam Parhomenko was the Democrat strategist, consultant, former DNC field director, political advisor to Hillary Clinton. And he just so happened to comment about Meghan Markle. This is what he had to say. Again, political advisor, or was political advisor to Hillary Clinton, in which he posts on March 8th, I think the day after the Oprah Live Fest, in which he says Rick Grenell wants to be governor of California. So I wonder how Californians feel about a Nazi arsehole who takes to Twitter to trash Meghan Markle because he just can't stand black women. And this, my friends, is the platform for the Democrats. They ride on race, they cause division, and this is what they have been doing this whole entire time. So when you see Christopher Boozy all of a sudden talk about the British media is having a go at him is because he's black, or the reason why people criticize Kamala Harris, Meghan Markle, Michelle Obama is because they're black. Well, how about this now? The race card is getting so old and these people are so vile and disgusting. The fact that they support this nonsense and not even speak out about what their own party is complicit in doing and knowing about, such as the child trafficking and the pedophiles. Okay, how about we start calling these people pedophile sympathizers, because that's what they are. Two can play this game of gaslighting. Me being a woman of color and being called racist, I'll take being racist over being a pedophile sympathizer. And that's what they are. And what we're noticing with this Diddy situation is that Hollywood is corrupt. Meghan Markle is corrupt. You can bet that she is a pedophile sympathizer. I will bet you that she saw some things and looked the other way. Listen, man, these people are all connected. And unfortunately, they chose the wrong horse with Meghan Markle. Do I think that she has the power that she had when she first started? No. I think it's died off considerably because people have seen her for what she is. And anything that they touch, people know to stay away from. So we see this whole thing shifting. This is why it was disappointing that Samantha lost her case, because what I was really hoping to see was Sunshine Sachs being called to testify or to give deposition, because I believe that's where the answers are, in my humble opinion. But what do you guys think? I thought I'd put this together so you would have an idea as to really how this all started to form and how we're getting to where we are today. And before I forget, I would like to say a big thank you to Vintage Read Show, who gave a shout out on her last video about the royal grift and the work that has been done around some of these political aspects that Meghan and Harry have stuck their tentacles in and the people associated. If you don't follow her, you should. She does an excellent job with narrating this saga in various different ways, and her voice is so easy to listen to, which is what I absolutely love. Anyhow, definitely share your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye!
I was such a fraud.